What if I told you the way you was breathing was making you ugly, it was destroying your testosterone levels, and it was making you sick? Breathing is something we do throughout the day, but most of us are doing it incorrectly. That's why I want you to get hold of your phone or walk to a mirror. If you've got your phone in your hand, turn on the camera and put it into selfie mode. And I just want you to look at your face for a few seconds. Is your mouth open or closed? If your mouth is open, you're breathing the wrong way. And the first thing this is doing is making you ugly. Now I'm going to turn to the side right now and you can see my facial structure. If I close my mouth and breathe the correct way, which is through my nose, you can see the shape of my face. But if I start to breathe through my mouth, you can see what happens to your facial structure. By just breathing through your mouth, it's making you more ugly. I want you to think back to some models that you see online or when you're shopping for men's clothing. Have you noticed all the male models have their mouths closed? Why? Because it makes you look more attractive. If you think about it now, if your mouth was open like this and you went to approach a girl, how's that going to make you look? But if you close your mouth and then walked over to a girl, it changes the whole look of your face. But also, when you open your mouth to breathe, it actually physically changes the structure of your face. That's why it's so important that you start to breathe through your nose. Because if you continue to breathe through your mouth, it will just continue to worsen your facial features, making you more ugly as you get older. Let's do a little bit of an experiment. Either go back to the mirror or grab your phone, put it back into camera mode, and I just want you to look at yourself with your mouth open and breathing through your mouth. Then I want you to close your mouth and breathe in through your nose. You see how different your face looks when you just close your mouth? It just increases your attractiveness by a couple of notches. And it's a simple thing you can do. Doesn't cost you no money. It's just a very easy hack to just up your attractiveness. If you've been breathing through your mouth all your life, you will have developed some facial structures that make you unattractive. One, you'll have more of a recessed chin because when you breathe through your mouth, your jaw comes down and goes backwards. So you're more like this. The second thing it does, it destroys your posture. When you breathe through your mouth, you can't breathe properly. So you have to lean forward to open your airways. So you have more of a posture like this. It makes you more rounded in the shoulders. So you have more of a hunchback posture. The fourth thing it does is it makes your eyes very puffy and very droopy. Four things that will make you very ugly: a recessed chin, a forward head posture, rounded shoulders, and puffy, heavy eyes. The next thing mouth breathing does is it destroys your testosterone levels. When you breathe through your mouth, you're not breathing correctly. Also, you can't get enough oxygen into your body. This stops you from getting into a deep sleep at night, and the body produces the most testosterone when you're sleeping. But if you're not sleeping properly at night, or you can't get into that deep sleep, you won't be able to optimize your testosterone levels. That's why you see so many people going to the extreme measures of taping their mouth so they can get into that deep sleep. Breathing through your mouth makes you ugly and it can lower your testosterone levels. Not only that, it can also make you more sick. When you breathe through your mouth, you're more prone to germs and infections. Your nose acts as a filtration system. When you're breathing through your nose is filtering all those germs and bacteria. Your mouth does the same thing as your nose, but it doesn't have that filtration system. when you breathe through your mouth, you're taking all those germs into your throats and into your lungs. So if you're constantly falling sick, you're someone who always has a blocked up, congested nose, it's probably because you're breathing through your mouth. The second thing it does, when you breathe through your mouth, it dries your mouth out. This leads to bad breath and poor oral hygiene. This is one of the most unattractive things when you have bad breath and you go speak to a girl. That's why breathing through your mouth is something that we've got to change straight away. 1, to make you more attractive. 2, to improve your testosterone levels. 3, to improve your health. And here's how we fix this. We just become a lot more conscious with our breathing. Whenever we're sitting at the computer working, we're going to bed, or we're just relaxing on the sofa, just close your mouth and start to breathe through your nose. As simple as that. Listen, I'm still a mouth breather and I'm trying to be as conscious as I can to close my mouth at every opportunity, because I know the negative impacts it's having on my facial structure, but also my sleep and my testosterone. So whenever I'm there just sitting and I realize my mouth is open, I close it and I start to breathe through my nose. And to make nose breathing a lot easier, clean your nose. Actually, in the morning, blow your nose and rinse your nose out. Do that first thing in the morning, do it once during the day, and do it once at night to keep your airways clean. If your nose is congested, it can be very hard to breathe through your nose, especially if you've been a mouth breather all your life. That's why it's something you've got to practice and just become good at. The next thing you can do is chew with your mouth closed. When you start to chew something 20 to 30 times, it has so many benefits on your digestion, your facial structure, but also it will remind you to keep your mouth closed. So when you're chewing, I want you to close your mouth and chew for about 20 to 30 times and really get into this habit. The third thing people do is use nasal strips. I love Alex Hormozi. If you're looking for a business mentor or motivator, definitely start watching him. But these nose strips can just open up your nose and make breathing a lot easier. Something I'm looking into, potentially developing my own product, but it's something I'm gonna try in the coming months. Being in Cambodia, getting hold of things is a little bit difficult, but by putting these nose strips on, it'll just open up your nose and make that breathing a lot easier. The next thing people do is tape their mouth. Now, I'm not a big fan of this because I don't want to be restricted, but for some people, it works really well. If I was to tape my mouth, I'd ensure I had someone with me for the first week or 2. But it's something I'm not trying at the moment, but I will consider for the future. Another thing you want to do is start improving your posture. I don't have the best posture, but since I've been breathing through my nose more, it's bringing my posture up, because this forward posture encourages mouth breathing. That's why bring your head back, drop your shoulders down, tilt your chin down a little bit, and just breathe through your nose. Just by improving your posture, it makes you so much more attractive. Practice these things so you become a nose breather and you can improve your life. Now, if you want to know how to transform your body in 90 days, you need to click this video.